Hi, welcome to the show. I'm very excited today to bring you another special guest, and this is her second time back, and I'm excited because she has a lot of good information that you're going to want to know about Hope on the Hill. And of course, I have the Executive Director, Heidi Lindell.
Hi, Kim.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, absolutely.
It's good to have you
having
back.
me.
You know, I looked forward to this because I want to hear it all again, and I want to hear what's new. You do so much up there. Can we just start maybe with an overview of what is the mission of Hope on the Hill?
Hope on the Hill's mission is igniting hope within while leading individuals to self-sufficiency. Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to learn a lot today about how you do that. And while we're doing the official words, give us the guiding principles.
Yeah, so we have 4 guiding principles that we really use to measure how we're going to operate as an organization. So igniting hope, compassion and dignity, grace, and then restoration. And restoration is, it's an interesting one. It was probably the most difficult for the board to kind of come together and for us to really decide how do we capture that guiding principle, because it's about forgiveness to an extent, but it's not our place to forgive anybody, and so we really didn't want to lead in that direction. But no matter what's happened in somebody's life, no matter how many bridges they've burned, how many second, third, 50th, chance that they're on, we're going to welcome them. We're going to serve them, in compassion and grace. We're going to allow them the opportunity to get involved and maybe heal through service or to learn and grow through one of our programs. So, but really it's loving on people. How are we going to do that? How are we going to serve people? And across the board in every program, we can measure it against those 4 principles.
Let's back up to the third one, grace. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So a lot of it came from kind of the biblical, who Jesus was and how he treated people. He really exemplified grace and service. Getting on your knees and washing somebody's feet. And so we really wanted to kind of capture that heart and, being able to live life with grace and to serve people with grace, to do it the right way. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you really those are wonderful sentiments. And I use the word sentiments because sometimes those are nice words that maybe you kind of imply aren't being backed up. But today, we're going to go through a tour de force of how you back up all those wonderful words with what you're doing there. And there's 4 programs. You've broken up into 4 areas. Tell us what those are.
Yeah. So we have 16 programs that currently that are in 4 main areas.
Okay.
So food, education, community partnerships, and then financial resources. So those are kind of the 4 areas in which we serve the community, and then we have either 16 current programs or programs that are getting ready to launch.
Under those 4.
Under those 4 areas.
Let's start with community partnerships. What's involved there?
So it's really important for Hope on the Hill that we aren't duplicating efforts, that we're coming alongside the rest of our community and making an impact. So there's a couple different areas. The homelessness issues in our area, those are huge. Right now, it's a major issue facing our community. So we partner with CWISH, which that's in a little bit of a transition. The Union Gospel Mission will now have an emergency shelter during the cold winter months. So we're supporting that process. But we also do a monthly event called Piecing Community Together, Food, Fun, and Awareness. And that event is really about bringing the community together around the issue of homelessness, both people that are impacted, community members, neighbors, stakeholders. So the second Thursday of every month from 5 to 7 p.m., you can come down to the co-op. There's going to be live music, some different art opportunities, free food. And so if you need a meal, absolutely please come down. But more importantly, and it's an opportunity to just come together as a community and sit at the same table. I'll have the Oregon Health Authority, for example, they said, we want to come down. We have all of these packets. We want to help people get signed up for health insurance. And it's like, okay, but you're just coming to dinner. So they come in, they get their plate. They say, where do we set up? Where do we put our papers? You don't. You grab a plate, you sit down, and you talk to your neighbor. You talk to the person sitting at the table with you. If they happen to need to get signed up for health insurance and you happen to have some forms with you, that's great. There's a lot of stakeholders that are there with resources and information available. But the point of it is to really connect, to talk, to bring the humanity of the issue to the forefront of discussion. The economic viability of 3rd Street and what's happening downtown that is problematic, and that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be talked about. And by building relationship and getting to know these people, it can be talked about in a more humane way, and look at problems and solutions and from that perspective. So what I'm really excited about that event. It's tomorrow, and it's our 1-year anniversary. So October of last year was the first time that we came together as a community, and we have about 100 people each month. We've had a little bit, if there's a free concert downtown and it's a beautiful evening, the numbers might be a little lower, but that's a great one. We also, Tree of Hope is coming up. So every year we partner with the Salvation Army to sign up community families, and all of the organizations in our area that provide Christmas gifts use that sign up at Salvation Army so that we're not duplicating efforts. And then we work with adult recovery houses, DHS foster system, and then a program called the Angel Tree Network, which is incarcerated parents are giving their children gifts from them. And so we get notified by them. We work with a custodial parent to get permission, and then we purchase gifts so that children of incarcerated parents can get a gift from their parent at the Christmas time. So that's multiple organizations that come together. We serve typically over 500 families through that program. And again, that not duplicating efforts and looking at gaps that exist. Most of our area organizations that give gifts don't serve children over the age of 13. So when we're signing up families, we want to sign up families specifically that have kids over the age of 13 so that we're hitting that gap, and the 5-year-old and the 15-year-old are both loved on the same way. So that's another example of a community partnership that we have going on.
Just to put some brackets around this, because there's going to be a lot of information, and I want to kind of separate it out so people can understand. We've just heard about 2 of the community partnerships that you do. Piecing community together at the Co-op Church, and you partner with Co-op Church, Housing Authority.
The Housing Authority, the Compass Center, and then various businesses rely on donations and sponsorships for the food and
Oxford
the
House.
music. Oxford House is one of our most recent donors that are providing the money for the food for that event. But we also have live bands, local bands that come. The Humley School of Music has brought in several musicians. The Adventist School brought in their high school and middle school choir that did a performance one night. And there's a number of bands each month that we've had come in and perform a live music.
So if you want to get kind of on the ground with becoming a community together and not having barriers between those with homes with those without homes, this is a good place to come.
Yes.
If you want to cross those lines,
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
Okay, and join up with those people, with each other. Piecing community together, second Thursday of every month.
Yep, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Co-op.
And then we went down to Tree of Hope, which is a gift program, and you said that very well. Okay, now let's go to another community partnership, Beyond Backpacks. What happened to Backpack?
So Beyond Backpacks was Operation Backpack. So they've been
Operation.
around for over 10 years, making sure that children get school supplies. Kindergarten through senior in high school, you're going to get what you need to be successful in school that year. It's a really great program. And they really were having a hard time deciding, do we want to tuck under another organization because they didn't have their own nonprofit status, or are we in a position now where we need to stand on our own and be a separate nonprofit that's operating autonomously from these other groups? And so just kind of supported them through that process. And then we also supported them to do a kickball tournament last summer. Rather than having a car wash and a bake sale and some of these smaller fundraising opportunities, we really supported them to develop a tournament that is a bigger event, that's something that's a lot of fun. The Girl Scout group can pay to play in this tournament and have a great time while supporting backpacks and doing a community service at the same time.
So this is a fundraiser.
That's a kickball tournament fundraiser. So we support them on kind of an infrastructure level and some of those things so that they're able as a small group to stand on their own. And then we sign up families. So through our food pantry and our other programs, when it's time to sign up to get a backpack, we do that sign up and referrals for Beyond Backpacks. We're one of many that do that. And we also take donations.
Okay, let's keep moving. We can't slow down. Community partnerships we're still under. Adult recovery. Tell us about that.
So mostly that's through our Tree of Hope program. So there are multiple adult recovery houses in our county, adult men and women that are living in one of those homes as
Blanche
they're
Farms.
getting back into recovery. So Blanche Farms, Oxford House, Helping Hands, there's a few. So at Christmas time, we provide the people staying in those homes with a gift, and then also, like everybody that we provide a gift to, we give them a necessary item based on what they need. It might be a coat, a hat, shoes, work pants, whatever that is. So we support local recovery homes. A lot of times people in those situations might not have family either nearby or they've burned those bridges, and we really want to make sure that they feel the love of Christmas. And so we make sure to provide gifts to them. Blanche Farms, any opportunity we have to collaborate. This year they don't have it anymore, but they used to have Christmas trees. So we would get, 20, 30 Christmas trees, and we would store them at Hope on the Hill. And then if a family couldn't afford a Christmas tree, they could just come get it. So Helping Hands, they come up, they volunteer, the women living in the Helping Hands home, healing through service, allowing people an opportunity to give back. They also have a plot in our community garden, so the women that are living in that recovery home are able to learn really valuable skills to grow and provide food.
I think we've covered community partnerships in lightning speed, and
Yes.
hardly just
Take a breath, right?
Yeah, wonderful. That right there is amazing, and we're a quarter of the way through. So let's keep going. Let's talk about education. What Hope on the Hill does in the area of education.
Yeah, so all of it's skills and resources on that path to self-sufficiency, really. So Reading Plus is a program that we have. It's adult literacy in reading and math, and that's primarily a one-on-one tutoring type situation, especially with reading because people are in so many different steps. Once in a while, we'll have some math students that are in the same kind of learning place, and you can do 3 or 4 at a time. But it's very individualized learning. One of the coolest things, and it's anybody, people can have some really decent skills with reading and math, and we still might be able to help you with whatever your circumstance is. We have 2 students right now that are college graduates who can't spell. So they were able to pass all the way through the education system and even get a college degree, but they learned reading through sight words, and so they don't have the phonetic skills to be able to spell out a word, sound it out both in reading and in writing. And so they get by through sight word reading, and so they are getting one-on-one assistance to break it all the way down back to elementary, that phonetic sounding out of words. That our Reading Plus program coordinator teaches English as a second language. So every summer we offer a program through that. I got to participate briefly in one of the last classes where one of the students had gotten their citizenship. And so the whole class brought food and dessert and did a big celebration at the end of it to really honor that student. So that was really exciting. For years, we've offered a program called EDGE, which is, helping people with skills around getting a job. This year, we have adopted a national curriculum. It's called Jobs for Life, and it took all of the components of the previous EDGE program and then added in all of the components that we wanted to into one curriculum. And it's employability solutions. It's, mock interviews. We work with Goodwill Job Connections on cover letters and resumes. It's looking at what are the unique barriers in my situation to keep me from getting a job, and how do I address those, both through an application process, a resume, an interview. And then it goes beyond that. It's communication, it's leadership, raising delicate issues. Now that I have a job, how do I take constructive criticism from my boss? How do I work as a team member? If I need to bring something up, how do I do that? So it's a 16-week program that's fairly intensive that really dives into all of those kind of employability solutions. And then one of the other things with that program that is really exciting is we partner with the Yamhill County Jail System. So inmates that are on the work release program are eligible to sign up for the class. We structure our entire class to make sure that we're in line with all of the guidelines of the jail system. We provide transportation, we pick them up, we drive them up to our facility, we do the education program, and then we take them home at the end of the night. It's open to the community as a whole. We don't segregate populations, but it's a great opportunity for people to prepare to transition to employment when they're released, and then also for our community members that aren't currently in that situation, they're learning, they're growing through that opportunity to learn together.
What's it like for a member of the jail population to come to this class?
It's good. It's we do certain things that we think are really important. So you're going to come, you're going to learn all of those things, but how we operate. So you're going to get hot coffee. We're going to have a home-baked dessert. We're going to have some food and some snacks. And so you're building relationship and you're feeling cared for at the same time that you're learning a skill. It's a safe environment for people to really kind of identify. We have people that at times we're telling them to put down, what are your skills? What do you have to offer? And they don't feel like they have anything. So a lot of person-centered planning where you're saying, okay, using a microwave, for example, that's sequencing, that's following directions, that's 3-step process, something that simple. So helping people really break down what do you have to offer and how can we frame that?
So Heidi, you're breaking my heart, meaning it's broken open to what you are doing there.
Thank you.
To have people come from the jail population and get a home-baked dessert while they're learning how to move forward in their life with members of the community. Mm-hmm. I can't think of a better program for those people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
The
one thing I didn't mention is we also have 1 to 2 scholarships each class, and that's up to $500 around employment. So if someone has a career path that involves college education, you can use that at Chemeketa to get some classes, to get books. If you're in the construction field and that's your employment path, we work with the Northwest College of Construction. We get you transported up to their program, your food while you're there, and then we pay for certification. So we had a student that went from getting out of jail, living in his truck, to going to the Northwest College of Construction, getting his flagger certification, and making $35 an hour. Mm-hmm. So every student has the opportunity to apply for that scholarship, and then 1 to 2 are awarded each class session.
So again, we're in the education quadrant. Mm-hmm. We've talked about reading plus the adult literacy reading and math program. Mm-hmm. We've talked about English second language, usually during the summer. Mm-hmm. Well, mostly adults. Kids are welcome too. We talked about jobs for life for the community and for jail population.
Yes.
And let's talk about, you have a Financial Peace University. Tell us about that.
So Financial Peace University is, again, it's a national program. Dave Ramsey has developed this excellent curriculum around budgeting, planning, and overall financial management. It's a cash system and a system of getting out of debt and paying things off. And the curriculum as a whole then extends into retirement and college savings and some bigger financial planning necessities. However, when you're dealing with people that are in financial crisis or pre-crisis and they're really struggling just to get through one day at a time, talking about some of those bigger concepts can cause them to shut down, to not be receptive to the information. That doesn't apply to me. I'm thinking about milk tomorrow, not college in 10 years. And so we adapt the curriculum to the people in the class and the program. Anybody that gets financial assistance through our programs, we ask for them to participate in the next time we offer that class. And then we really make sure that we're adapting it to be applicable to the people that are there so that it's useful and it's helpful. The curriculum itself has a $100 fee. We we pay for the curriculum, and we ask that the participants pay $20, and that's either upfront at the first class. If that's too much, then we've had some that have paid $5, every couple of weeks, so that they have that $20. And if you participate in the whole series, then at the end of 7 weeks, that $20 goes back to you for the start of your own emergency fund. And it's really looking at, I'm not looking at a $10,000 emergency fund. It might be a $250 emergency fund. It might be the next time my tire blows, I can fix it. It's not a crisis because I have that money set aside. And if it starts at $5, if it starts at $20, that's okay. That's where you're starting, and we're going to help you continue to build that.
Okay, we better move on. Let's talk about financial resources. How do you help people there?
Financial resources, we have a community program. It's for anybody that has a need with food and transportation. So we have gas vouchers and we have bus passes, and then we have grocery store gift cards. And so we're able to kind of help people with their immediate needs. It's non-emergent and it's not long-term. So kind of in line with our mission, we want to help you immediately, but we also want to work with you. So I have a team of coordinators that really build a relationship with those individuals and say, okay, what's your immediate needs? Let's look at your budget. Let's figure out what we can do. But what can we do so that you don't need long-term assistance? So helping people out of the immediate crisis, but really those tools and resources again.
So that's the criteria, that you're willing to talk with a counselor, someone there.
You work with our volunteer team to look at what's the overall big picture, and how can we help you. Sometimes there's resources out there for people with cell phones. So we'll have people with a $150 cell phone bill, but they actually qualify for Assurance Wireless or one of the other free cell phone programs. So we get them connected with that, and we get them signed up, and we support them through that process. Housing and some of those other things. So just depending on what resources are already available, and then supporting someone through that process.
So you can help them make adjustments that make their money more efficient. So you're supporting them, but you want to make sure you're supporting them in a way that they're making the most of it.
Right. Yeah, and if it's something, we've helped people, for example, that have to go to OHSU for doctor's appointments for 3 months. So they can't afford the gas to get up there, and they don't know what they're going to do. So we start out the process with the gas vouchers, but then we're also looking at, okay, what are the other ways that adjustments can be made to meet this need? And there are times where we do extend that for a little while, but really it's how else can we assist you, and having the support to really do that and look into it. Another program, so Church on the Hill, they have designated funds for their congregants, and so they contract with us to administer that program. And so we review the applications and we vet those as a team, and those are open-ended. There's not really criteria for what can or can't be paid for, as long as they're actively involved in the church and have been for at least 3 months. And so, but again, it's important that we're being good stewards with their money. So we have coordinators that are working with the applicant, that are getting information, that are checking references and getting all the information. And then we have an anonymous team that comes together and decides how much of what is given out and how we're able to do that.
Wow, that's quite an undertaking.
And we have our last financial resource program is for women and families impacted by breast cancer.
Shall we roll the tape?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
Paul, if you could bring up that movie, and you can just go ahead and talk over it and tell us about what this program is. This is Cathys Hope.
Yes. So Kathy Togstead was the executive director of Hope on the Hill before me. She is a breast cancer survivor, and so this program was named in honor of her. And we work with Willamette Valley Cancer Foundation and Seeds of Hope to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts. They both have guidelines and criteria for who they can and can't serve.
Excuse me,
and
Heidi.
So,
Paul, just go ahead and run that, and she'll just talk over it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and if someone is going through treatment and they have a need, then we work together to make sure that need is met as well as possible. So that can be literature for children, it can be wigs, it can be prescription co-pays, it could be rent, whatever your particular need is. The video that's showing right now, we have an annual fundraiser specific for Cathys Hope and With Courage, and we also partner again Willamette Valley Cancer Foundation and Seeds of Hope presented, and we're part of this event. So on September 17th, we had a DJ and some excellent food, and we had keynote speakers that came together in a fundraiser silent auction and a live auction. And the coolest thing about this whole event is we had 17 survivors that had free tickets that we provided to be able to come to the event at no cost. And then they were able to come up and be honored and given a gift bag, a present. Local businesses came together around that, so we had pedicures and lunch card and a coffee card, and just to really be celebrated. Those are the pink bags there. And so
So what's the venue? Where are you?
We're at Youngberg Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
That's their new building.
that's their new building.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a really, really fun, heartwarming event where we got to raise money and have a great time, but also honor these women. So the other side of the financial resources through Cathys Hope that we do is With Courage. So Caitlin Sticka is the program coordinator, and she's a survivor. She's a mother of two, 32 years old, that just celebrated 1 year post-chemo. So
that is a lot.
yeah, so she has developed this With Courage, which is support, mentorship, and then care packages. And so women that are going before and after treatment, they have the support of her and a whole team of survivors that help with looking into resources and applications for financial assistance. But they're also given these care packages, these beautiful bags that have everything that she felt was necessary and important when going through treatment. And so, lip balm, thank you cards, stamps, gift cards, a blanket, a hydro flask, like these really great things that they can have available, some that are practical, but also to really just feel cherished.
I can't put any better bow on this than it already is. It's just absolutely amazing. Now we want to talk about food. But I don't want to miss the events. So let's go over the events, and then we'll finish talking about the food pantry and the garden and that. So
Perfect.
You've got some events coming up.
We do. So on December 4th, it's called A Season of Hope. It's our second time doing that. Nonprofits come together in a Christmas caroling competition. So for, again, Hope on the Hill, we want to make sure any of the fundraisers we do, that we're adding some value to our community. That's important for people to be able to enjoy that. And so what better time, Christmas is our giving season, than for nonprofits to be celebrated together. So each nonprofit has a choir or a musical ensemble that performs on their behalf. And the audience members come and they get to hear these great Christmas carols. They learn a little bit about what's going on with the community, but they vote with their money. So if you loved MV Advancement's choir, then you make a monetary donation in their name. And after all of the choirs for the nonprofits perform, the money is counted. The choirs sing one final performance all together, and then the nonprofits are presented with the gracious donations from their community.
Oh, that's great.
So tickets are $5, very inexpensive, and you can bring your whole family out to really enjoy some fun music and a good cause at the same time.
December 4th.
December 4th, 5:30 p.m.
Young at Heart.
Young at Heart is going, it's called the Young at Heart Celebration, and it's for our seasoned youth. It's an opportunity for our older generations to come together. There'll be live music. Gallery Theater is going to do a performance. We'll have some snack bites, some food and wine pairings, but really just come out, have a really fun time, jazz music, dancing, and just celebrate having fun and being in community together.
And that's a fundraiser.
That's a fundraiser.
That goes to
It just supports our Hope on the Hill programs.
Okay, I was going to ask, how is all this supported?
It's supported, so a lot of our individual programs have business sponsorships. That's a really important part of it. And then donations, and then we do get some small grants and different things. So, but we are very much reliant on the support of our community, our businesses, and our community members.
Heidi, I hate to do this to you. We've got 30 seconds to hear about the community garden.
The community garden, we grow organic produce. We give it out for free twice a week. It doesn't get better than that. We have plots and other things, but it's really about feeding the community.
And people come to the food pantry when? Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Tuesdays 11 to 1, Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m.
To receive homegrown organic food.
Homegrown organic food, and
also,
then all sorts of milk, bread, frozen meat.
You partner with the Oregon Food Bank.
Pantry, yep. Oregon Food Bank, we're part of that system. We partner with YCAP.
Well, we did it. But not quite.
Not
We'll have to
quite,
have
I
you
know.
back again. Thank you so much.
Yes,
It's been a
you're
pleasure
welcome.
hearing the miracles that you perform up there. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.